Okay guys, we are getting dangerously close to a reveal of the Switch 2, which means there are a bunch of games that we are going to be seeing very, very soon. I cannot wait for the Switch 2's lineup. I cannot wait for these new games, but in my anticipation, I've made a list of my dream game lineup for the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's get into it. What's up guys, Mike here, welcome back to my channel. Hit the subscribe button for more content on the Switch 2 and gaming and pop culture in your feed. Let's get into it. Alright, there are so many leaks around the Switch 2 at the moment, as you probably know if you are as chronically online as me. So I decided to put my creative brain to work and tell you the games that I wish we would see on Switch 2. And there's probably a mix here of games that are shoo-ins, like these games will almost definitely happen, but there is also some that are just my fantasy games that I think could happen or that I think would be really cool if they did happen. And maybe we should start off with one of those pie-in-the-sky wildest dream games, because this is a game that I've wanted for a very, very long time, and some of you might disagree with me on this, but I would love to see a game that I like to call Donkey Kong 65.
Hey, hold up, big guy.
Okay, this is a working title, of course, but it would essentially be a follow-up to Nintendo 64's Donkey Kong 64, a 3D platformer collectathon. DK64 is often criticized for being a bloated mess, which I somewhat agree with, but to be honest, this game completely captured me as a kid, and I've replayed it many times as an adult. I think Donkey Kong is overdue for a dedicated 3D platformer, and this is biased because my favorite genre is 3D platformers. I think they could do a lot with this, and they could really streamline what Donkey Kong 64 was and turn it into something great.
That means you did it, Kart!
There's sort of two ways I can see this one going. Donkey Kong 64 famously had you switch between 5 characters, all of whom had slightly different abilities and puzzle solving techniques, but swapping between them could often be a little bit tedious. Plus, you kind of have to play every level 5 times to collect everything with every different character. The first way I see this working is have 5 characters, maybe the exact same characters from DK64, maybe a couple new ones, sub some out. Just bring back my boy Lanky Kong though. That guy is such a legend.
He has no style. He has no grace.
I just think a better way for it to work is if you could just swap between the Kongs on the spot. Like instead of having to walk back to the barrel, you could literally just press a button and swap to the next Kong. Like, I don't know, maybe they pull out a barrel and just disappear into it and the other one comes out. Like it doesn't need to make sense. Just do that. That would streamline almost the whole of Donkey Kong 64, right? New worlds, new puzzles, with new abilities, new moves, and stuff like that. The other way I see it going, which is less favorable to me than the first method, but just have Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. I'm sorry, Lanky. I'm so sorry, Lanky. If you look at games like Yooka-Laylee, who have this like running roll ball thing where Laylee runs on Yuka, that's pretty much the exact same thing from the Donkey Kong Country Returns series where Diddy rides on Donkey Kong. Maybe just give us something like that where you're playing as Donkey and Diddy together as one. That would be amazing, and having a game like that would make all of my dreams come true. Next up, and I do see this one definitely happening, it is Super Mario Odyssey 2. I thought Odyssey was just so creative that it definitely deserves a follow-up, like a fully fledged follow-up. And because like the engine, I guess, is already there, like just make new worlds, new levels, new power-ups, new abilities, kind of the same stuff I said with the Donkey Kong game. Like the core experience of the original Odyssey is so fun that I think so many people would be more than happy to do it again. And maybe just find ways to make it bigger, better, and more Odyssey-ish than the first one. I don't know if that's even a word. After that, after a lot of deliberation, I really do think we are going to see Super Smash Bros. Ultimate 2 or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe. For a while, I did think Super Smash Bros. Was over, at least for the next little while. Sakurai like constantly told us how we couldn't expect this to ever happen again in gaming history, and they pulled so many stops to get all these characters like Sora and Ryu and Cloud and Sonic and all of this stuff in the game. But recently it was revealed he has been working on a new game, and there is absolutely no way Nintendo isn't going to make a new Smash Bros at some point. It's just too profitable for them.
Hello. I like money.
I honestly think the new Smash Bros. Just needs to be a deluxe edition with a few new characters and then DLC support for another 5 to 6 years. I know that's a big asking, but that's all I'd really want. I'm not ready yet for a full reset of the franchise. I do think Switch 2 needs to launch hard with Smash Bros. Ultimate 2, and I think that would be such a great thing. And I cannot wait for the new Smash Bros. Hype train to start. Like, those are some of my favorite times on the internet. Another sure thing and probably a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2 will be Mario Kart 9. I mean, we didn't even get a new Mario Kart on the Switch. We got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I never got that because I was one of the only people in the world with a Wii U, and I had Mario Kart 8 on that, which was awesome. But I do think it is about time for Mario Kart 9. I don't know necessarily how they could make it better than Mario Kart 8, but that being said, what I would really want to see from this, and I don't think it needs to be rebranded at all, but I think just start introducing more Nintendo characters into the game. Basically make it Smash Bros. Kart. I mean, they've already put in Villager, they've put in Link, they've put in characters from other games. They also have stages from F-Zero, Excitebike, they've got the Blue Falcon in there as a car. I think that could add a huge refresh to the franchise without having to change heaps about the gameplay, and the seeds are already sown as far as I'm concerned.
Pokemon!
Pokemon? Pokemon was the pokey of the man.
This next one isn't really a solid idea, but I'm loosely going to title this one Something Completely New from Pokemon. Obviously, Pokemon Gen 10 is in development. We might see it at the end of the year, except Pokemon Legends ZA will be kind of the focus for 2025. I had Pokemon Legends Arceus. I probably will get ZA, but to be honest, I didn't really like the Pokemon Legends game. It felt like it was open world Pokemon, but it was still sort of just Pokemon. I think what I really want from a new Pokemon game that doesn't have to be mainline, but maybe just something where you are in control of the Pokemon, not the trainer. Like, maybe there's no catching and stuff. And I realize this is similar to Mystery Dungeon, but something that's not like turn-based either. Like, whether it's a Pokemon 3D platformer or a Pokemon 2D platformer. Guys, I like platformers. Or just some kind of Pokemon adventure game with boss battles and enemies, or like, I don't know. The idea is definitely there. I've done my part. Now you use your imagination to fill it in. Honestly, I'm just tired of Pokemon games. I haven't picked one up since X and Y, and I just don't really care about them anymore. Maybe that's just because I'm getting older, but I still love this franchise, so I would absolutely love to see more.
It makes Digimon look like Pokemon.
Okay, these are my last two. I would love this to happen on Switch because I think it would just be a huge bombshell for the industry, but just give us Banjo 3. Come on. Okay, no, that's a bit of a me, but the other thing I actually would like is to see a Kingdom Hearts game on Switch. Maybe not a Switch exclusive, but it came out on the Xbox consoles, Kingdom Hearts 3, and I think all of the kind of side games now are on Xbox as well. I'd love to see like a dedicated Switch Kingdom Hearts. I mean, we did have Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance. We had 358 Days on DS. We had Dream Drop Distance on 3DS. They're not objected to doing games on the Switch, and I wonder if they can make it creative, like for the Switch's technology. Basically, I'd just like to see anything Kingdom Hearts in 2025. That would be awesome. Whew, so those are my dream Switch games that I would really, really love to see in 2025 and beyond. Okay, overall, I'm just so excited for the Switch 2. I bet you are too. Comment below, do you like any of my games, and what is your dream game? Like, pie in the sky, what is your dream game that you would want on the Switch 2? I know I haven't covered everything here, so I'd love to know your thoughts. If you don't have anything to comment, but you still want to help me out in the algorithm, just comment below Switch 2, just so I know you're here, okay? Help me out in the algorithm. Subscribe to my channel for more pop culture content, and apart from that, I think that's pretty much it from me. My name's Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I'll catch you later.